In this video, I am going to help you address one of the biggest issues I had when I first started going out off-roading and overlanding, and that issue is finding great trails to explore. Every trail I went on seemed to be either a dead end or the trail just wasn't exciting. This ended as soon as I found Gaia GPS, which is an application I have been using for 2 years now, and it has been great. So today, rather than just going on an adventure, I will also add some information on how to plan and find the routes you are going to take on your adventures before you set off. So stay tuned. The whole process of finding the trail you are going to take on your adventure begins from the computer. So let's have a look. As you can see, I am here in Gaia GPS. This is Cyprus, and it is obvious that I have many trails and waypoints marked. Now, let's say, for example, I want to head up into the mountains right here. As you can see, I already have a route marked right here. But the way I marked this route when I first did it was simple. I was just looking around. I spotted this river right here, and right next to the river I saw that there was a trail. So I instantly thought that this should be a really nice trail because it is in the mountains right next to a river, and it is heading up to a dam in the middle of nowhere, basically up here. Also, while I was plotting this route right here, I've seen that on the left there is another route that heads down to the river and actually crosses the river right here and makes its way all the way up to some nearby villages. So for this route, I was just looking around in this area. I spotted the river and I thought, yeah, this should be a really good trail, and I plotted the route and then followed it when I first went there, and it didn't disappoint for sure. As you will see today, this is a very beautiful location. Now you can do the exact same thing for mountain peaks or for beaches or for dams or anything else you want, pretty much. As you can see, Gaia GPS will tell you the altitude of certain mountain peaks. So right here I know that the altitude is 1,362 meters, so you can expect some very nice views from up here. So if I see a peak, I just mark a dirt road that goes up to that peak and follow it when I go there. These are the dirt roads, these lines right here, and the lines that are more highlighted are normal paved roads. These right here are trails, hiking trails, and the motorways are orange right here. So you can easily distinguish the roads. If you get the premium version, you can have many layers to choose from, which makes finding the trails you want easier, and you can also have offline maps because you can download the trail on the specific area you are in, so you can have navigation without having a connection, which is very useful if you get lost. I have actually used Gaia GPS many times, not just for off-roading, but just for finding my way home in areas where I didn't have connection. I just opened up Gaia GPS and followed the highway back home. I am not sponsored by Gaia, I wish I was. But I have been using it for 2 years, and I must say I am very happy with it. In the US, I know you can also use Onyx Off-Road, which is more off-road oriented. So this will do mountain biking, hiking, and all that kind of stuff. Onyx Off-Road is more for the 4x4, the buggies, and that kind of stuff. And I know that that is also a great application if you are in the US. Onyx Off-Road doesn't work in the rest of the world. However, Gaia will work no matter where you are, so this is why I love it. So with route plotting out of the way, I think it is time to set off on our adventure, and I will be heading to that specific river I showed you on Gaia GPS, so it should be a very nice day out. have been on the road for about an hour now, and I am in the mountains. This is the nice thing about living on a small island. You might run out of places to explore. However, when you go exploring, you arrive at your destination in about an hour or an hour and a half. I must add that on Gaia GPS you can actually select the start of the trail, and Gaia will take the coordinates of the start. It will put them in Google Maps and Google Maps will take you there. However, sometimes it does make mistakes, so it is better to do this manually. The weather is closing in. I assumed it was going to be sunny up here, but that was rather optimistic because it has been raining non-stop for the past 2 days. So being the prepared guy I always am, I have brought many waterproof clothes. In any case, we'll have fun regardless. You might be wondering why I'm in the Land Cruiser today. I'm in the Land Cruiser because the Land Rover has finally decided to brake. It wasn't the vehicle's fault, to be honest. I was a bit too hard on it and I broke the diff. I actually didn't break the diff exploded. So the housing is broken and the diff on the inside is broken. I will film a video of me fixing it in a few days because I can't live without a Land Rover. People who own and love Land Rovers know that once you have a Land Rover in your life, you cannot live without a Land Rover. It is like a good old friend. But I must say, the Land Cruiser is very welcome today on these mountain roads. The power from the 1KZ turbo diesel is very welcome. It drives up these roads much more comfortably than the Discovery. But in any case, we will be arriving at the dam in about 15 minutes and I will show you around that wonderful place, and we'll also cook some pasta. I have stopped on the side of the road for a quick second because today the atmosphere is really clear. Most days it is a bit dusty because of the location of Cyprus, but today, because of the previous rains we had, it is insanely clear and insanely beautiful. Over on that side, the skies are blue and the weather is great, and right behind me, over to the mountains, the sky is gray and it is raining. So I think it is the perfect spot for a quick drone shot, and then we'll continue towards the dam, which is about 5 minutes away. This right here is the river I have pinpointed on Gaia GPS and made the trail that goes all the way up to the dam. It is dry now because I suspect that the dam isn't full, so it isn't overflowing for the water to come down the river. But from the dam upwards, the river will surely have water in it because it comes down from the mountains. And as I said before, we've had a lot of rain. So I will now get on the trail and just follow the route, just like you follow the route on Google Maps or any other GPS application. We are on the trail heading towards the dam and the rest of the river. And as you can see, following the map is very easy. You have a little arrow, which is your vehicle, and you just follow the plotted route. Usually I would have my phone right here, but I forgot my mount, which is actually in the Land Rover still. So that's why I have it on the armrest. But I know the trail very well. I have been here many times. So it is time to start making our way upwards. This right here is a small dam that we could see on maps, and it is about 1 kilometer behind the final spot that I want to stop for today. It is very beautiful down there, and the dam is actually overflowing, which is weird. Probably the reason that there was no water down, I believe, is because the dam might have just overflowed and the water hasn't made its way all the way down yet. But I think it is worth going down there and having a look at this dam. That was the dam, and it is now time to enter the river that flows into the dam and cook some pasta. The sun has started coming out, which has made everything warm and humid, but the good news is that I will be able to sit outside. I have arrived to the destination I had in mind. You might remember this place from a few videos ago. I have came here with the Discovery. It started raining again. The weather today is a bit bipolar, but it isn't cold. It is definitely humid, but I'll deal with it. This is where an awning would have been very welcome, but sadly I do not have an awning. Actually, I didn't even bring a chair today because the chair is in the Discovery. Everything is in the Discovery pretty much. So aside from the how to find the perfect trail tutorial on this video, you will also see how to go out for a nice day of off-roading with minimal gear, not even a chair. And I can guarantee you that you will still have fun. Anyway, I think I'm going to cook right here, probably on the bumper, because it gives me a bit of shelter from the rain. And while I'm cooking, I will give you some more information regarding finding trails and something related to the Land Cruiser and Toyotas in general. The sun has come out again. It is absolutely beautiful here. The weather is amazing, and until the water heats up, I thought I would go through, first of all, finding trails. The first step is the one I have shown you so far, which is doing the preparation beforehand. So sitting down at home, using an application such as Gaia GPS and plotting routes in locations that you know or you suspect will be very nice. So mountain peaks, valleys, rivers, beaches, I'm pretty sure you know which locations are the prettiest. Now from there on, once you are at those locations, it is a good idea to diverge from the route you have plotted. If you want to follow it to the end, then go ahead, follow it to the end. But when you come back, you can take some turns left and right and explore the area. You never know what you might find. You might find a trail that isn't actually on the GPS, which may lead to a location that is insanely beautiful, or the trail itself might be difficult and very fun. Personally, this is exactly what I do. I get a good idea of where I'm going. I have my maps, I have a plotted route, and from there on I explore the area. Also, when you find spots that you like, you can pinpoint them and come back at them later, either for camping or for a quick revisit. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about was the bushings on old Toyota. I know this is a bit random, but I had the thought while driving down here, because the bushings got wet, they started squeaking. Now, the rear bushings are made from polyurethane, and I wanted to mention that these bushings, in my opinion, aren't good for 4x4s. When they get wet, when they get old, they squeak like crazy and they do not flex well, so they make the ride harsher and you lose wheel articulation. In the front of the Prado, I have original Toyota bushings, which I have changed a few months ago during summer. Those are amazing, but I will have to do the rears for sure. Since the Prado has started making its way in the US over the 25-year rule, so any vehicle that is older than 25 years old can be imported to the United States. The Prado was never sold in the United States, but the chassis is exactly the same as the third generation 4Runner. The 4Runner didn't have the diesel engine, but it did have the V6 petrol, which these also had. So if you have a third generation 4Runner, an old Tundra, don't put poly bushings on it because they squeak like crazy. Now, I should also mention that there are some control arms that are greasable, so the bushings are greasable. There is a grease nipple on the control arm and you can grease the bushing on the inside, and those bushings are poly bushes, but since you can grease them, they last longer and they do not squeak, but they're still tough. I'm sure they have those control arms for the 5th gen 4Runner. I'm not sure if they have them for these vehicles right here, but in any case, you get the point. When changing the bushings on your 4x4, use the original ones, or if you're going to use poly bushings, choose a good brand. On the Land Rover, I have poly bushes up front. They do not squeak because they work differently there. The bushing doesn't actually move, the bushing is just there to provide cushioning, but in the Prado, especially in the front, the bushing moves, so as soon as it gets dry, it starts to squeak. So this is pretty much what I wanted to mention, and I think it's now time to eat some pasta. So the pasta is ready. I am going to sit here and enjoy it. This was a slightly different type of video. If you have enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments down below, as I think it is worth sharing a bit of knowledge as well as guiding you through these wonderful locations. If you have any suggestions for further topics that you would want me to discuss on an upcoming adventure, please leave them in the comments down below. If you want to support the channel, you can hit the like button, subscribe, or you can even join my Patreon page, which certainly helps a lot fund the trips and fix the cars I break all the time. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.